ago at the Nintendo E3 press conference, we got a reveal of a brand new Yoshi game, and this game looked to be the spiritual successor to Yoshi's Woolly World. And we had no clue what the title was and when it was going to drop, and we just didn't know. But they went on a whole year without giving us information, but finally the Nintendo Direct brought it out of the dark, and we got to see exactly what this game has to offer pretty much. So, this game is now labeled as Yoshi's Crafted World, and we are going to dive deep into the Nintendo Direct Yoshi trailer and see exactly what this game has to offer. We're going to check everything that there possibly is, comparing it to games of the likes of Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's Woolly World. So, without further ado, let's dive into the analysis. Starting the trailer off, we see Yoshi on this train, and it's made out of many types of arts and crafts. One thing we see in the very front of the train, where the port is the milk box-shaped cabin, along with a court kind of moving on to the engine room. But the train is obviously built off of lots of arts and crafts. The buildings in the background have smiley faces. Everything is real artsy. You can see piranha plants to the right, Shy Guys in the back of the train holding coins, and we can even see egg blocks obviously carrying on from the Yoshi series. We see lots of coins in the very back, buildings, and obviously areas you can reach, including a flower piece that you can collect that is actually originated from Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's story. So you collect obviously coins again. There's coins everywhere. I'm sure most of those coins will actually turn into red coins, as we'll see later, which are a special type of collectible coin. The rest of the level seems pretty neat. I mean, the background is very well fleshed out with different types of materials and arts and crafts going all the way throughout the back, including buildings, skyscrapers, clouds, and even mountains with snow on top. Now, what's interesting about this scene is if you can look, you can see yellow paths everywhere, and this is obviously the path that Yoshi can traverse. Now, what's so amazing about it is that it's in the foreground, the background, and even another layer of foreground, meaning that you can cross through this section almost as a 3D game. So, to label this as just a 2D game is actually not quite right, because there's lots of sections and segments where Yoshi actually moves freely in a 3D space. Now, at first glance, this looks like some sort of water level, but the fact that there's no water present makes me think that it's a cave stage without the water portions yet, and Yoshi's eventually going to reach that. But right now, we see, obviously, it's a water level because of the paper plates folded into the mold of fish in the background, and then the two paper mache clownfish at the very front that Yoshi is actually leaping from one to the next. It's a very cool aesthetic to the stage. It's dark, and it has like these little crystal beads that are kind of lighting up the room, almost like stars or glitter spots. But it's really cool the way the lighting works in this level, and the foreground and the background play together. Now, obviously, there's a Koopa Troopa that Yoshi eats, and he's obviously looking like he's going to spit it at the Shy Guy, but there's some of the only enemies that we're getting a look at right now, and obviously some more coins. And what's interesting is the coins actually have a picture of an egg on them this time, and in the other games, they were just simply coins. This scene obviously seems to blend with the one from the last one being fish related and under the ocean. Obviously we have lots of more origami fish lifted up from sticks as Yoshi enters the door throughout the background, but what else will we see is in the very beginning, Yoshi comes across this crab and is obviously made out of some type of paper cup and other utensils. Now Yoshi has something awkward with him this time. He's obviously has his eggs falling behind him that he can obviously throw. But he is wearing some type of fish paper mache costume cart thing. I have no clue what this is, and we actually see this again in a trailer later on, which we'll get to, but I'm not sure what this does yet, and at least in this scene, it doesn't do much, and maybe we can find out more later. But we also see another big coin with Yoshi's face on it, and obviously a paper mache girl pop up in the background. And obviously, I'm pretty sure that's just for decoration, but we can see that Yoshi eventually will go up that platform and that ramp and continue on in the background, or Yoshi could have continued in the foreground. It's completely up to the player. It's also cool how the stage is decorated in pipe cleaners and all kind of other little kindergarten, utensils and crafts. It's really cute. These next couple of scenes give us some inside look at Yoshi's egg throwing abilities. Here we see a stage very similar of the first one. It looks like to be the World 1. We see some paper cows and cups and streams in the background. But here we see Yoshi throw an egg at this structure and it unfold into a bridge. And this reminds me a lot of Paper Mario. Here he throws the egg at a switch that completely flips the stage upside down. And this obviously adds for more transformations and more options for Yoshi to traverse the level. Obviously he could go through that hole now since it flipped open and turned a different direction. Here you can see the house fall over again and the bridge be formed. You can see a railroad track in the background. Maybe that combines with that train we saw earlier. And like I said right here, he obviously has the space right there in the background, and then the house completely flips and allows for the right side of the stage to be accessible. We see some more coins and stuff that Yoshi can collect, And there's a little paper Shy Guy. I'm not even sure if he's real. That just may be an arts and design. But what actually happens here is when Yoshi hits that house, it flicks the rubber band off of the house, unfolding it into a bridge, which is really unique. He's not just hitting something randomly. Obviously, there's coins at the bottom, but if you look, there's also a key. So this is obviously kind of harkening back to potential Yoshi's Island days where you needed a key to open up specific doors, or maybe even bonus doors where you would play with the bully and stuff like that. So, or not the bully, but the bandit. And maybe it's harkening back to that. Maybe there's some mini games or extras, or maybe that's a way to, you know, get forward into the level. If you look closely, it looks like the locked door may actually be behind the gear room, and you get a close, really close glimpse of what looks to be chains on that door. And yeah, so maybe that key obviously opens that door. How would you get the key? I am not sure yet. I would think somehow to break down through the floor, potentially, to get the key. As we look at the scene again, it looks like maybe potentially Yoshi could flip the stage again for a different type of outcome, or maybe just more traversal, you know, with the stage. Obviously, we would eventually figure it out. It looks like it continues to move on towards the left there, that you could obviously enter that room through another entrance. With these next couple of scenes, we see Yoshi throwing eggs again, and here he's trying to hit the Shy Guys in the background, holding new blue coins. We also see him knocking down this domino cookie type structure so he can continue to move on throughout the background. And then we'll obviously talk more about everything that's going on in a few seconds. But we also see him hit this platform, which actually rotates it and allows him to collect a piece of the flowers that he has to collect. Now, also, if you notice, when he collects this flower, it shows that he needs to collect 6 in this game instead of the usual 5, which I'm pretty sure that's normally what it is. But obviously, we see the egg shooter to the right, which is continuing from Yoshi's Island. We see another type of costume that Yoshi's wearing on him. I don't understand what this is for. This time it has a lid or a helmet, and it doesn't seem to really do much. I don't know if it works as like a protection for Yoshi, but we see Shy Guys, which seems to have like swords down there at the bottom, or some type of kitchen utensil knife. That's kind of strange. But going back over to the first scene, we see Yoshi in that World 1 setting, and like I said, the egg shooter, and on the box, we can actually see something here. On the box, there's a label or some type of tag with writing on it, and I could not make out what it says. I flipped the picture upside down and zoomed in, and it doesn't really say anything in English, at least, that I came up. But the box in the background has some type of snowman picture. Not exactly sure what that is or what that says either. Something with chips. Obviously, the box that Yoshi's standing on, it says Yoster at the bottom. I'm not exactly sure what the other words are or what it is. But if you look really closely, you can see some cookies that actually have appeared in Yoshi games from time to time. Yoshi's Cookie, and also appeared in some Mario games as platforms that Mario would traverse on. But Yoshi's obviously hitting the Shy Guy in the background, holding the blue coins and collecting them as he strikes them. Going back to these two scenes, we see Yoshi once again knocking down the dominoes, but it appears to be making a path for him to cross over some type of skillet holding some type of, you know, dough or some type of liquid that Yoshi obviously can't cross. And then in this scene, it seems to be in that same scene we saw earlier because it has kind of that Chinese representation. It has a ninja star at the bottom where that little paper mache girl popped out of. And I thought that was pretty cool. I like the design of that world. But this world also, there's a little spring thing for Yoshi to obviously jump to a higher point in the foreground if he doesn't want to go to the background. And then there's a cake blocking his path that he probably can knock out of the way. So nothing much about this scene either, but just, you know, like I said, the Shy Guys with the knives, and then the ninja star that Yoshi can go by in the background. Here we get a nice look of Yoshi and Poochie here running down this path, and we get a look at a new enemy type in this game. These are these like little pink squirrel things, and they're actually so cute, man. It's just like they're not even doing anything but walking down the path, not bothering anybody. But you're riding Poochie, and you're taking these enemies out going down this path, and the background is just phenomenal how they did this. I mean, you can see the little tower, a windmill, a house, and like the river flowing down the mountain as a waterfall. It's so awesome how they do this. And the sun in the background. And the path, you know, continues to grow as you walk across it. Similar to that one in Mario Odyssey with the leaf path. It grows and it grabs more paper from it. And it's so cool how, you know, unique this is. Everything is paper down to the trim. I think even more than Paper Mario was itself. The crafts here are just overwhelming. And there's obviously a curled up path ball here. And you would probably just knock it out of the way with either, you know, Poochie or an egg in order to extend the path. So here we get to see the main mechanic of the game, which is flipping the levels around, so you can see everything that there is to be seen. So here you see the level flip, and I thought at first this may be the hub world, but I'm pretty sure it's not, just because you can see later on that the timer starts as soon as the level starts. So it shows that you need to complete some type of task. So you can see where the level actually sections off and turns into a completely different, unique level, where the green wallpaper turns into blue, where it turns from like a grassland level into a sky type level, or snow, whatever that level may be. And we might be able to see it in the next scene. But this is really cool, and you can also see things that may be hidden, like the small little, I don't even know what that is. It's either a dog, or it seems to appear as those little poochy things that we saw time and time again, and you'll see it clear in the next segment. So obviously this mechanic allows you to go towards the left or the right and see things that you couldn't see, whether it be in front of you or behind you. In the background there, we see a barn and maybe like a little milk tank. But coming up a path here, really cool path, you can see where the clouds are actually taped from the back and how they're hanging. This is just really cool, the mechanics. You can see the paper is made out of snails, or the snails made out of paper rather, and the Shy Guys are flying above, and the can is in the background. Once again, that cardboard box with the snowman. I think we're seeing some of the same levels over and over again. We see that same scene with the train from the very beginning. We see the flip side, and as Yoshi is on the other side, we see a cloud that Yoshi can later hit with his egg, and it's just really dynamic. I just really love the tape and the string part on the back of the clouds. It lets you see like this is all actually just made by someone. It's constructed, it's arts and crafts. You can see those Poochie dogs here again. I'm not sure what they do in this game, but who knows? They may be able to be thrown like those little birds were, those Huff and Puff birds from the other Yoshi games. I'm pretty sure that's not their name, but you know what I mean. But Yoshi is still running here. You can see, I love the way the background plays. You can see the barcode on the boxes, how they're like, this is all just like a real world, the paper cut out, and it's amazing. We appear to see that Yoshi's cookie box again at the very slight point, and it just says squares, obviously referring to the shapes of those cookies. But yeah, this is just a really unique scene. I love the way the water looks. I love the way just everything is just completely crafted from top to bottom. There's no type of, laziness within this design. I can't find any. Everything is detailed to the max. For the little piece of grass right there looking like it's cut out of a newspaper, you can see the words on it. Nintendo just went completely on and beyond with their game design. It's amazing. This next scene looks like it might take place outside in some type of garden as the Yoshis are jumping on paper crafted flowers, and you can see windmills in the background spinning as if the wind is blowing them, and then what looks to be a fence with some dirt and grass below. We also see the Yoshis jumping on these birds that also are returning from Yoshi's Island, and we see the cursor and Yoshi throwing an egg to pop the question cloud, which normally gives Yoshi some type of special things, obviously coins in this case. And these birds are always in Yoshi games. They appear time and time again, and we're used to seeing them. This also shows multiplayer, as the two Yoshis are working simultaneously co-op, similar to how they did in Yoshi's Woolly World. I just love how that's also outdoors. You can see like the pot and the bricks and the dirt. But going back to this scene, we see some balls being lifted out of the ground there by some type of streamers in air. Not sure exactly what's going on or if you can land on them, but obviously the background is showing some more mountain areas and stuff that are made out of paper, and it's just really neatly done. This also shows that you can ride on each other's back in case you get tired of moving throughout the level, and yes, the red coins are back as we see Yoshi collects one out of the stack of gold coins, and yes, there's 20 of them per stage it seems. We then see a cool scene where Yoshi's on this pirate ship and he's shooting cannonballs into the background. And there's pirate Shy Guys and they pull up in their ship and they're shooting right back at Yoshi. And you obviously have to dodge their attacks but also shoot them. And to shoot, you just simply ground pound on these springs to shoot the cannonball out into the background. And that's really cool. As you can see, it shoots really far. One cannon shoots further than the other, the longer one obviously. And the shorter one shoots, in a closer proximity to the background, in case, Yoshi wants to hit the Shy Guy and then maybe hit the rocks in the background. And it's really cool. And the water obviously isn't made out of craft. I don't think there's a possible way you can make it out of craft unless I'm missing something here. But the water looks to be just simple water here. And the clouds are even smiling in the background again. Everything's smiling. Everything's happy. And I really love this part right here. Just really cool to see, this pirate theme. And the Shy Guys dressed up as pirates trying to shoot Yoshi. And Yoshi just completely blowing up their ships. And it obviously plays a really cool, use in foreground and background. And I just love the colors and how everything is working here. And this last scene obviously ends off on a high note with Yoshi running away from this giant dry bone structure skeleton type thing. And it's really cool, man. This is one of the coolest parts of the whole trailer to me. We see a brand new world being a desert world, and we can see some pyramids and stuff in the background, but this skeleton thing is chasing Yoshi, and it's knocking bricks out of the path, it's knocking everything out of the way, the spring jump platforms that Yoshi has to jump off of to get up to higher grounds. It's just destroying everything, and Yoshi's got to traverse this and get away, obviously, And we also see his wings returning from the helper mode or the assist mode in the Yoshi games, and I think that's exactly what this is. Just an assist item to help Yoshi if you die a lot, or if you're a younger player and you need some type of assistance, you can have these wings. And yeah, we see some piranha plants at the bottom trying to get Yoshi another red coin. And like I said, those jump platforms that are actually returning from the Yoshi Island series. But this skeleton, you can look in his eye, and it has what seems to be some type of sewing pin being his eyeball. And I can't really make out exactly what he's made of, if he's made of any type of crafts. It just looks like actual bones or something. So yeah, that's really cool. Some type of clay looks like he's made out of, some dried clay. And it's just an overall cool runaway scene that Yoshi has to get out of the way and probably fight him later on down the road. And like I said, just the background still looks amazing with the sand castles and the palm trees, really giving that desert vibe. And it's just glad to know that we won't be in that, you know, inside building the entire time. So this game is looking beautiful from every bit of detail. Nintendo is putting in so much work, and when the game fully comes out, there's going to be so many things that we overlooked the first time. And we're going to have to go in depth in every level to see all the great things that Nintendo has hidden. So overall, this game is looking so good. I did expect a drastic overhaul change since Nintendo postponed this, it seemed, and delayed it so long. But it looks like Nintendo is sticking with their guns and sticking with this, you know, theme that they have where you can flip the world around and just this overall craft theme, and it's looking great. I can't wait to get my hands on it, and once it drops, me and my little brother will probably be playing this all the time, trying to collect everything and playing through the game for you guys. So if you guys have any other things that you guys want to mention about this trailer, or about stuff that I missed, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I will acknowledge those and see what you guys found, because I'm guaranteed to miss something. I am human, I will. But thank you guys for watching, and if you guys want to stay up to date on all things Yoshi's Crafted World and anything Nintendo Switch, anything Nintendo, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so that you will stay up to date and not miss anything Nintendo related. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. See you guys.